Good morning. Good morning and welcome to another fantastic masterclass that we are holding today. This is a special one, and I'm very excited actually to invite Alicia or to welcome Alicia Logan from Proudly South Africa. I know, there's just something about that tick, hey, that just makes you feel not just that you've arrived if it can get onto your products, but also, there is definitely something to be proud of to say that, I made this. It was not important. So Alicia, without any further ado, welcome. Please turn on your camera. I'm gonna ask everybody to just turn on their cameras for a moment and give us a wave. It always helps if we can see who's in the room. Rachel, hi Rachel. Hi Sekobolo, Sisetu. Hi Elsie. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really, really delighted that you are here. Alicia, I am going to hand over to you. And why don't you tell us what it means to have that tick? How do we become part of it? And how can we support, how can you support small businesses?
Good morning, Elmarie. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Good morning to everybody on the call. Thank you for making time to join us today. We have a summarized but well put together presentation on how we can assist SMMEs to access the market. Before I start, I would like to give apologies for my colleague Janine, who was unable to be with us this morning. She sends her apologies, but she's been the greatest part of putting this presentation together. So she will be here via the presentation, I would say. I'd like to now share my screen and take you through the access to market presentation.
Thanks, Alicia. If anybody has questions, you can pop them in the chat. I will monitor that, and I will ask the questions from Alicia as they come up.
Okay, I just want to, let me share again. There we go. Okay. Colleagues, I think it's very important before we get into truly access to market. I'd like to talk directly to who Proudly South African is and what our mandate is as a campaign. So Proudly South African is the country's national buy local campaign. That means we seek to advocate for consumers, for procurement officials, for the public sector, for the private sector, and manufacturers and buyers to buy local. So we look at government as an entity, the public sector, we look at corporates, the private sector, and we look at the individual consumers, and we advocate for everyone at every level to procure local, either from a B2B perspective or to buy local from a consumer perspective. So why do we do this? The aim of procuring local is to keep jobs in the South African economy. The only way to create jobs is to increase revenue of every company's business. So we seek to ask you to procure local to create jobs. The mandate of the campaign, as you know, is as I said, buy local to create jobs. So Proudly South African advocates at various different levels and via different mediums. So you will notice we do events, we do B2B, we do consumer education. So it is not just a rollout campaign where we're saying, please buy local. We are saying at every level, across every single sector, we are advocating for people, whether it be a procurement manager or a general consumer, to procure local. Why are we saying procure local. What is the reason that we are advocating so hard and nationally for consumers or procurement managers to procure local? It is to retain and create jobs in the local market. It is to develop skills within the borders of South Africa. It is for economic development, because we know the more we manufacture and the more we export as opposed to import, we grow our economy and the GDP of our country. It is for empowerment of our local workforce. It is to improve the living standards of, the population of South Africa. As we know, we are plagued by a high unemployment rate. Of course, it is for infrastructure development, because SMMEs are the backbone of our economy in South Africa. So as they grow, their infrastructure grows, and infrastructure development in all completeness grows as well. As I confirmed, it is to increase the GDP of the country, and of course to balance trade, because the more we import, and the less we import, the more off balance we are in terms of trade. And the more we decrease the employment in the country by importing more, we decrease employment and create further unemployment. The more we export from our country to other countries, we balance trade and we increase we retain jobs and we create more jobs. Therefore, we directly and indirectly, as a campaign, have a mandate to reduce unemployment in South Africa by creating jobs. So that basically, in a nutshell, is why we advocate for buying local: to retain jobs, to create jobs, to develop the skills of our local workforce, for economic development, for empowerment of our people, for improved living standards of the general population, for infrastructure development, especially for SMMEs, to increase the GDP and to balance off trade. There's four, we always say there's four criteria or four methods in which we advocate to the public. So it is via preferential procurement. So I will go into more detail on this once we go into the member benefits. But here, we're advocating for the public sector to procure local. So the public sector to support the private sector, the public sector to support SMMEs and to procure local as opposed to procuring from abroad. Proudly South African, as within the membership department, a dedicated consultant who manages the tender monitoring function to ensure that public sector tenders are sent out to all our member companies, therefore giving them a chance to work directly with government and to ensure that government procures locally. We are also aligned to the CSD. That means that we will make sure that our member companies are flagged as proudly South African members on the central database system. Then consumer education. It is so important that we educate our consumers on how to buy local, on how to find locally manufactured products, on what to look for when procuring or buying a product. So consumer education drives is one of our biggest and most. Every other day we have our events department on a consumer education drive, educating consumers on how to look for the proudly South African logo on products, on how to source local products. We have our social media where we every single day are posting our member companies so that you can make informed decisions when you want to procure items across all the 26 different sectors that we have members within. And then, of course, there's the just want to bring this down. Okay, so sorry. Then there's the private sector, in which we are working actively. We're working with procurement officials to say, please, can you source local? Please, can you buy local? Here again, when we go into the member benefits, I will talk to you about a program called MAP, that is Market Access Platform, where we have a host of buyers and our list of member companies that are suppliers, and we match buyers to suppliers, and we say, here are all our member companies, you can procure from them directly. So MAP is a market access platform where the private sector is able to buy from our member companies. And of course, we have a database of products, so we have 2,500 members, or proudly South African members on our books. And so we have I think we have about 19,000 products that are listed as locally manufactured products, and we advocate for consumers on a daily basis to procure, those products as opposed to internationally manufactured products. So locally manufactured products, we have a database of those products, and we advocate every single day for whether it be a consumer, a procurement manager, the public sector, private sector, B2B, whoever you are, we have a list of those products, and we advocate daily for you to procure those products. Proudly South African membership. So Proudly South African is a membership-based campaign. So why are we a membership-based campaign? I think, okay, so let me explain in terms of the logo. The Proudly South African logo is a registered trademark that denotes quality and confirms local content. So we cannot randomly assign membership to every single company in the country. There has to be a vetting process by which we take those companies through in order to make sure that we're advocating for a business that actually manufactures locally or assembles locally or provides a service within the borders of South Africa. So we are a membership-based campaign because it is important for us to vet member companies in order to have them on our books as a member and in order for us to advocate for them. So the vetting process, I would say, is a strict process, but a relatively simple and quick process if a member has all of their documentation in place. So what is the vetting process, and why do we take you through this process? So the vetting process, we vet against 4 key criteria. And those 4 key criteria are local content, quality, environmental standards, and fair labor practices. Why is it important for us to vet for local content? We are the country's national Buy Local campaign. It is mandatory then that we vet you for local content so that when we advocate for you, we're actually advocating for a business that runs within the borders of South Africa, a business that manufactures their products within the borders of South Africa, and a business that assembles their products here. So local content is a non-negotiable. We have to vet you to make sure that you are indeed manufacturing here or providing a service here. If we do not vet you for local content, then we provide you with membership, that would be a major problem because it goes against our mandate to advocate for companies that are outside of the local borders or outside of the borders of South Africa. What constitutes local content? As I confirmed, we have 26 different sectors. So the different sectors, so the motor industry and the FMCG sector will never be vetted in the same manner. So the 26 different sectors are vetted in a very different manner. However, to summarize, we look for 100% of a product to be manufactured in South Africa. We are aware that not all of the raw materials can be found in South Africa. Example, if you're looking for certain shoes, like school shoes, the soles of that shoe cannot be, the raw material for the soles of that shoe cannot be found here, so it is imported. So we understand that the country does not have all of the raw materials to manufacture all of the products that is required. So in that case, we do allow a certain concession whereby 50% or more of a product must be manufactured or assembled within the borders of South Africa. So as I confirmed, the vetting process across the different sectors is different for local content, but at the end of the day, we want to be able to confirm that either 100% of your product is manufactured here, or at least 50% or more of that product is assembled within the borders of South Africa.
Alicia, can I just quickly stop you for a question? First of all, people want to know if they will receive the presentation afterwards.
Absolutely. I think what we can do is I'll put my email address in the chat box. So once they want to access the presentation, they can send me an email, or I can send you the presentation, Elmarie, and you can
I think that would be best.
Yeah.
Yes. If you send it to us, then we will send the presentation out with the recording. And
Perfect.
then I just want to check with Mezi, because Mezi has actually asked the question around, do you vet for the specific product or, or the business when it comes to foreign, importing foreign content? So Mezi, if Alicia hasn't answered your question completely by her previous comment, can you just type into the chat again a follow-up question? But if she has answered, then also just let me know.
Okay.
And then there's a question from Samantha. She's saying, we are a supplier of FMCG, grocery, stationery, cleaning, and cleaning material for government departments. And we buy all our products local. Some might be imported from suppliers. But what I would like to know is, can they become a member? So they are not manufacturing. They are just
distributing.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens in a case like that is that we still have to take you through the vetting process, and then we have to do a third-party vetting. So because this person would be a middleman, so there's the manufacturer, the distributor, and the retailer. So we would have to do a third-party vetting where we actually vet the manufacturer in terms of their, whether their products are locally manufactured, whether they have quality certificates in place, because, we can approve the distributor, but we still need to understand whether the product that they're distributing is actually locally manufactured.
All right. And then thank you very much. And then Peter's asking, how about services? If you don't have a product, can you also vet your services, and can you get that tick?
Yes, definitely. So we have what we call, there's a sector. As I said, there's 26 sectors, but one of the sectors says professional services. So usually it depends on what service it is, because if it's a financial services company like a bank or, then they will fall under financial services. But usually most service companies fall under professional services. And they are more than welcome to apply for membership, because we actively advocate for services as well. We have a lot of lawyers on our books, accountants, tax consultants, financial services providers, IT services. So we have a lot of service providers on our books, and we either place them in professional services, IT or financial services.
All right. So we've actually had quite a lot of questions around services. So those of you that asked that, Monene, Peter, Pumlani, if you still have follow-on questions, just drop them in the box, in the chat. And then Irfan is saying, our technology is acquired via an IT developer from India, but it is a South African concept. Will they qualify?
So on that one, we would have to, I would have to have a membership consultant vet that one and see what is the split in terms of the service provided and the So there has to be a proper split, and there has to be a vetting process on that one. So I'm not going to say yes or no.
Okay.
It has to be properly vetted for us to give a response to a membership like that.
All right. So the advice to Irfan is to get in touch with you, and then a membership consultant will speak to him and see if he qualifies.
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alicia. That's the questions for now. You can continue.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Elmarie. So colleagues, we were done with local content, and then we go into the vetting process that is quality. So quality is like local content, it is an absolute non-negotiable. It is so important for us to make sure that whatever product is being manufactured, that it has gone through the relevant testing processes, the relevant R&D processes, and the relevant and it has the relevant ISO certification. Now, let me give you a reason as to why quality is a non-negotiable. We allow every single member company the use of the logo. So if we allow you to use the logo on a skincare product or a food product, now you need to remember that that logo is a registered trademark. So it is a registered trademark that denotes quality and confirms local content. So if we allow you to put that trademark or logo onto your product, and that product causes a person to have a skin burn, or a person consumes a product and they get a food poisoning, we will be liable for that, because we have confirmed that we have vetted your product. So it is a non-negotiable. The product has to go through a testing process, either via SABS, CEDA, or some other testing regulatory body. It has to be ISO certified, or certified within this, or have the certificate for that sector. And then once we have those test reports, once we have those ISO certificates, we are then able to confirm quality. So as I said, quality is a non-negotiable. If you're a startup business, we will refer you to people who will be able to test your products and provide you with the necessary test reports and certifications. Environmental standards. This is the criteria in which we are not too strict on. The reason for this is because we have member companies across 6 tiers. So they start up, startups right up to diamond members. We understand that startups, small to medium sized enterprises, do not always have the capital to put environmental policies in place. So if you have these policies in place, you are most welcome to provide them to us, and you fine with that part. But if you do not have environmental standards, you are able to sign a declaration form, and you are still able to receive membership. So we're not too strict about environmental standards. Then there's fair labor practices. As I've confirmed, Proudly South African's key mandate, or our sole mandate, is to create jobs. We say buy local to create jobs. So in order for us to create jobs, whether directly or indirectly, we want to make sure that the companies that we are advocating for, the companies that we want to grow, the companies that we are working in partnership to grow your business, that you are abiding by the fair labor practices of South Africa. We do not want to create opportunities whereby, the workforce is being discriminated against, the workforce is being abused, the workforce is not being well taken care of. We do not want to create jobs in those environments. We want to create jobs in environments that abide by the fair labor practices of South Africa. So if you are a company that has employees, you would have to share your HR policies with us to ensure that you are abiding by the labor laws of the country. So that, in a nutshell, is the 4 vetting processes or criterias by which we vet every single company across the entire chain. So whether you are a startup or whether you are a Unilever, we will vet you across all of those companies by these 4 key criterias. And once you are approved by each criteria, a membership consultant will then let you know. You will make a membership payment. They will then send you a letter confirming you've been onboarded as a proudly South African member, and then they will impart all of the benefits upon you, starting with the logo. So that in a nutshell is basically the vetting process. Elma,
Alicia?
yes,
Sorry. There is a question
sure,
from Monene, and she's saying, for travel and tours companies, how do you
yes.
determine if the quality is acceptable?
So usually there is the ISO certificates in the travel companies. If the company hasn't gone yet through that ISO certification process, because sometimes startups within that field could it could be costly. Then what we do ask for is your consumer references. So we would ask for the service you are providing to your patrons or your consumers. Can they please provide us with references? We will vet those references, we will call those references, and then we will confirm quality in that way.
All right. So I think, one of the things that we talk about in the clinic quite often is, about customer relations and how important it is to ask for feedback. So this is where
Yes.
feedback becomes really crucial then.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because in the absence of a certificate that confirms your quality, we then go to your consumers, who are basically the backbone of your business, and we ask them, okay, can you confirm the quality then?
Okay. So we
Yes.
are getting quite a lot of questions from, specific sectors.
Yes.
And I know that we don't have time to go through all of that. So I guess the advice is, if you want to know, in your sector, how you will be vetted, is to get in touch afterwards, and you'll put them in touch with a consultant.
Yes, we have 7 consultants, and they'll be able to take all of the questions and guide all of the SMMEs against whatever it is that they require.
All right, fantastic.
All
That's
right.
the questions for now.
Sure. Okay. I think what we'll do after every slide, maybe I'll just check in with you to see if there's questions that we can answer.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. Then we jump into the member benefits. As I've confirmed, once you are approved for membership, the membership consultant that was managing your application will then guide you on the member benefits. So one of the first benefit that we, allow our member companies access to is the Proudly South African logo. Here again, I've confirmed that the logo is a registered trademark, so only Proudly South African can allow you access to use of the logo. The logo is sent to you with a CI document that is a corporate image document that guides you on the use of the logo across different platforms. So that you will receive a logo for use on your website, a logo for use on your signature if you must, a logo for use on print media, on digital media, etc. So you will receive the entire pack with a CI manual that will guide you onto the use of the logo. Then we get to the topic of the day, access to market platforms. So access to market platforms, we don't just have one access to market platforms. We have a multitude of access to market platforms. So let me start with the tender monitoring function. As I've confirmed when we began the presentation, we have a dedicated consultant that sits within the membership department that will send out tenders to the member companies across the 26 different sectors. So this tender monitoring specialist works with the IT department, and they pull tenders from all over. All of the public sector tenders are pulled, and she then receives them, looks at the members that we have across the 26 different sectors, and aligns those tenders to what it is you as a member company do. So if you are a member company that supplies, you know, okay, so if you're a member company that supplies, say, toiletries or a certain products to the hospitality industry, she will look for members within that sector, and she'll send out those tenders to you. This is to ensure that you, at all times as a member company, you have access to public sector tenders directly linked to what you manufacture, so that you can vet those tenders and decide whether you'd like to apply for them or not. The other thing is that we have recognition, as you will gain recognition, as a member company on the CSD, that is the National Treasury's Central Supplier Database, where you will stand out to procurement officials because you are a vetted Proudly South African member, and they will therefore know that you are a local manufacturer. So that is very important, because that tender, those tenders are sent directly to you, so that you have first-hand access to those tenders. And then you are also recognized as a member company, and you stand out on the CSD platform, that is the National Treasury's Central Supplier Database platform, where you are shown as a vetted Proudly South African member. So it gives you a greater chance at affording yourself a tender. However, what I must confirm is that Proudly South African has no role at all in awarding tenders. We are only that platform that sends you directly the tender, so that you have first-hand access to the tender, and we are the platform that allows you to stand out on the CSD platform, so that the public sector procurement officials are able to see that you supply, you either manufacture or supply local. So this is one of our access to market platforms. These tenders are sent out every single day. It is up to you as a member company to look at them, vet them, and see if you are a suitable supplier for these tenders. Proudly South African is on the brink of launching our own e-commerce division. So we do have our e-commerce division, but we are going to launch our e-commerce site. We have a dedicated e-commerce manager that works with all our member companies across the different sectors to actually create access to market for you. If you are on LinkedIn, you will see that companies like the Bread Box really speaking very well of e-commerce, of the e-commerce division, and how they are helping them access the market, and how this division is helping our member companies list on other e-commerce sites like Zulzi, Macro Marketplace, Made by Artisan, BizMed, and these are only a select few e-commerce sites that Proudly South African has agreements in place with for our member companies to get listed on. So like in terms of Zulzi, in terms of Macro Marketplace, our member companies that our e-commerce manager has listed, them on, are absolutely sending the most positive feedback, saying that they're really pushing product through these sites, and they're really growing their business through these sites. They're growing their business in terms of exposure, and they're growing their business in terms of sales. So our e-commerce manager listing you on the site is one of the greatest access to market platforms that we have, because you will see, depending on the product that you sell, our member companies are seeing daily sales. literally sales every single day by being listed on these platforms. So e-commerce is very big in terms of access to market. Taryn, who heads up the e-commerce division, is really vetting companies closely and seeing which platforms would be best suited for them, and then monitoring their sales and trying to get them to grow their sales and grow their business on these platforms. Then we have joint promotions, that is targeted campaigns, major events and expos. So one of it that comes to mind next month is DSTV Delicious. Proudly South African partners with DSTV, and we take our member companies to the DSTV Delicious event. And this event has been known to create, literally member companies within the 2 or 3 days sell more product at this event than they sell on a daily basis. So the DSTV Delicious event is absolutely one of the most major access to market platforms that we offer our member companies. We take between 16 and 20 member companies at no cost to you at all. We take you to DSTV Delicious. There's stands there, and you sell for the entire duration of the show, creating much needed exposure for our member companies and allowing them to really increase their revenue during this time. There's a lot of success stories that have come out of Delicious. Last year, one of our member companies within the juice, she manufactures juice, and she said she sold out in those days more than she sold out in the year. So, it is really one of those events that brings through some of the most major success stories. Then we have almost daily events or weekly events. And as I confirmed to you, these events are there to create awareness within consumers. So we're really educating consumers on your product and on your business. So we're trying to say, consumers, okay, if you're looking for a local cake manufacturer, if you're looking for a local manufacturer of skincare, if you're looking for whatever it is that you're looking for, these are our member companies. This is the logo you need to look for on their product. This is where you can find their product. These are the list of their products. So every single week we are doing consumer drives or consumer educational drives to make sure that once we vet you, your products don't just sit there, that they actually move, because we're educating consumers on your business and on your product. Then we have the PR communication platforms, that is our social media platforms, our newsletters, our product booklets, our broadcast media, our print media, where we are every day confirming our new member companies. This is what they manufacture. This is who, how you can get a hold of them, and linking them directly to your website or your social media pages. This is done, for me to say it's done on a daily basis is actually, an understatement. It's done on I would say, almost an hourly basis. You go onto on our Instagram page, you will see every single member, whether they manufacture a t-shirt, a jacket, whether they manufacture food, whether they manufacture, beauty products, whatever it is they manufacture, they are listed on our social media platforms and updated every single day so that they can gain the exposure from the consumers on a daily basis. Then, what is also important before I get into the inclusion in Proudly SA's database is the MAP program, Market Access Platform. This software was developed for South African breweries, and it was gifted to Proudly South African. This is one of the platforms that we are so proud of, because we know that it is a platform where we do not charge member companies at all. So we allow you to list on this platform. It forms a sort of procurement platform whereby buyers are able to meet suppliers. So if a buyer from South African breweries is looking for stationery, they're able to come onto the MAP platform and look at who our stationery manufacturers are, make contact, and take it forward. So it is it is a platform that we know that our member companies are going to garner the most amount of response from buyers, because buyers can directly make contact with you and work with you, or source from you, or procure from you. So the MAP program is one of the greatest, access to market platforms from also from a digital space, and our member companies can leverage greatly from this platform. Then we have, inclusion in Proudly SA's database of local products and services. So on the Proudly SA website, you will be listed as a member company within the sector that you play in, and your list of products will be listed as well. So also forming sort of like a procurement platform where our member companies have a specific tab on the website. Buyers can come to that tab, look for the sector that they want to buy from, and make contact with you. So also this forms also sort of like a MAP program, but it is on our website, and buyers can source you from there. Then we also have what we call portals. Portals are, if you're in the furniture sector, we have a furniture sector portal. If you are in the medical sector, or the we have a medical sector portal. So we have sector-specific portals, not across all 26 sectors as of yet, but these sector-specific portals help buyers come directly to the portal, and all of your details are there. If you go onto the website and you look at the furniture sector portal, you'll see our member companies listed there. You will see their product catalogs listed there. You will see their contact details listed there. So it is like your own little business card, business brochure, business, listed on our portals, so that buyers can make direct contact with you and procure your product. The portals have amazing success stories. One of the stories that we can share is one of our member companies was at the brink of closing down their business during COVID, and a large corporate company came to the portal, saw that they can manufacture cloth mask, because they form some sort of like a CMT. And they procured over, I think, 10,000 units or more from them. And that allowed them to keep their business open and keep their staff paid. And they're still operational. So the portals are absolutely also a success story that not only keep businesses open, but grow businesses. So as I said, forming some sort of business card on our website, so that buyers can meet you and do business with you. And then in terms of B2B opportunities, you will see on our LinkedIn and all our social media pages, business breakfast. And then the next day you go onto social media, it'll say fully booked. So these events are so high in demand, and we put them on today, and the next day they're fully booked. SMMEs join these events because we have keynote speakers that speak directly to how one can open up their business, grow their business. So we will have people like CIPC, BizPortal, SARS, business mentors, all of the people that can guide a small business or an entrepreneur on how to open up their business, on how to actively run their business, and how to grow their business. So these business breakfast workshops are very high in demand. Our marketing department travels nationally, or they try to travel nationally to ensure that we give every single SMME an opportunity to be a part of this business breakfast or these workshops in order to start and then grow their business. Then there's the participation in Proudly South African's flagship events. That is the Buy Local Summit and Expo. It is our largest event within Proudly South African. We have thousands of people walking through the doors. Usually this happens at Sandton Convention Center, and these thousands of people are procurement officials, whether it be in the public sector or the private sector. They are the general consumers, there are government officials, there are, it's every single person, whether it be a minister, whether it be, a procurement manager or a consumer. Thousands of people enter through those doors every single day for 3 days to have a look at who our member companies are and what they have to offer. And this often turns into great business post the event. So many of our member companies come back to us and say they've been listed in retail, they've been listed cross-border into Africa. They are now exporting their products because someone came to the show, made contact with them and have listed them, either within retail in South Africa, within retail in Africa, or within some sort of, space. So here again, highly, one of a very good access to market because, procurement people actually come to the show to canvas for member companies to list either within wholesale, retail, online, B2B, and it's been success story after success story via our, Proudly SA's flagship Buy Local Summit and Expo. Then we also have, with the DTI sometimes provides us with a list of events for the year that they would like to take some of our member companies to. There is a vetting process there, but they have exhibitions abroad, and if our member companies are chosen, they would pay for you to go abroad and market your product via an exhibition to an international audience, therefore creating an opportunity for manufacturing locally and to export. So that is also a very good opportunity. And then there's the business and sector specific forums, similar to the business breakfast, whereby we, on a monthly basis, we have webinars where we train, we have, speakers directly, like now we're going to have, it's basically different webinars across different sectors, but we have industry experts coming and talking to you about how to build your business within that sector, about how to access the market within those sectors, about how to gain funding, how to apply for funding, how to access the different markets within those sectors. So those industry experts come and literally train you on how to grow your business, to sustain your business, and to look forward to sort of exponential growth based on how you take their advice and bring it into your business. So that in a nutshell is our access to market opportunities available. We also have one of the things that we've just started, so I won't talk too much to it. Maybe at a different, maybe as we progress, there would be more, opportunities to talk to it. But we have, we are aligned to a company that does business matchmaking. So we've provided them with a list of our member companies, and they are looking at it whereby they can see where you would be suitable to be to be listed on. So can they get you into retail? Can they get you into Spar, Pick and Pay, ShopRite, Woolworths? Can they get you into wholesale? So this business matchmaking, it's just begun, and I know we're going to have great success with it, and we're going to be able to list our member companies either in retail or wholesale. It's just begun, so I don't have too much of success stories yet, but hopefully at a later stage we will be able to share what has happened, if our members have been listed, and the success stories around the business matchmaking. But for now, what I've taken you through is our access to market, and myself as the membership manager at Proudly South African, my the membership consultants, as well as the e-commerce manager, we literally work around the clock to make sure our member companies have access to the market depending on the sector that they're in, and that we are able to, via allowing them to access the market, that we're able to grow your business. So we don't want you to come in and as an SMME and stay there. We want you to grow to a gold member, a platinum member, a diamond member. And we've seen that literally happen in front of us. So it is possible. And that basically, in a nutshell, is how we take you to market and create opportunity for you. If there's any questions, Elmarie?
So no, there's no new questions. I think people just want to know how much the membership cost.
So if everyone on the call is an SMME, then the membership fee is 500 Rand, once off for a year's worth of membership, renewable at the same time next year, and that is ex-VAT.
Okay. This has been so informative, and I actually didn't all the other benefits that come with getting that tick. So this has really been insightful, and also really interesting for me is that it's not just limited to products, but actually services as well. So I think there's a lot of our community members that are in the service industry, and yeah, so I would really just recommend people to now reach out to you, so that they can start the process, be vetted, and then come on board. Yeah, Clement's saying it's a very reasonable joining fee. I absolutely agree. Laura's asking, where could you pay the money into? Laura's ready to go. She just wants to know. Irfan is also saying, just sign me up.
Yes.
All right. So we will send out the details on where people can reach out to you, how they can start the process. So all of Tia, thank you so much for your time. It's really been insightful. And like I say, I think it's one of those things that ever be able to have that, because it is so prestigious, and it just gives such a feeling of exclusivity. So thank you very much for that. What I can say as well, from my experience in supporting small businesses, being associated with a well-known brand, and a brand that is known for measuring quality and verifying quality, just puts you ahead of your competition. And I think at 500 Rand a year, guys, it's a no-brainer for me. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. If this can make you stand out from your competitors, just go for it. So we're going to send out all the details. Thank you so much. Also in the chats, guys, you would have seen that we've put the links in for the WhatsApp groups where you can join us. Where as you know, you get information about opportunities that we share, and also about upcoming masterclasses and all of that. And also, we've got the golf day at the end of September, which is going to be a real great opportunity for networking. There's lots of opportunities for you to also be featured there. So if you want any information, you can just reach out to me. I'll put my email into the chat box now as well. And then, of course, we have the Indaba. Wow, how busy is September going to be around networking and access to market. So yeah, if we have one theme for September, it's definitely get in front of your customers. So thank you so much. If there's no other further questions, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, you can attend the golf day
Marie.
without clubs. You can just come for the dinner if you want, Irfan.
Marie, just one
Yes.
question before everyone leaves. Do I need to put my email address in the chat box, or will everyone contact you and you'll come back to me?
So everybody that registered, whether they
Okay.
could make, attend the whole session. We know that with load shedding and all of that, sometimes people can't get it, but everybody that registered will get a link to the recording. They will get
Yes.
the presentation, and they will get contact details for you.
Okay,
And then,
lovely.
Alicia, what we will do for you as well is we will send you the list of everybody that's registered. So you can also
Yes.
just reach out to them, maybe just send out an email to everybody, to say if they want more information, what the next steps are.
Happy with that. No, I think there's been a good response to
Thank you.
today's webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and thank you, Marie, for hosting.
You're very welcome. Alicia, have a blessed day. And to all my darlings who always attend these sessions without fail, thank you so much for your time as always. We are here for you, to support you. This is why we create this community. And remember, today is actually Hello Thursday. So if you're on the Hello Thursday WhatsApp group, this is also the day where you can now promote your business and just give a little bit of information around what it is that you do. If I will see you all next week Thursday again for our next masterclass, where we're going to talk about 10x your marketing strategies. So really looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody.